Several questions swirling in the political air of the national capital. To answer some of them, I'm joined by senior Aadmi Party leader and one of the top ministers in the Delhi government, Minister of Education, PWD, Culture, Tourism in the government of the national capital of Delhi, Atishi, also one of the front runners to be the next CM. With us also on this broadcast is Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP, Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst. But I want to spend some time with Atishi first. Atishi, can you explain the thinking within the Aadmi Party? Arvind Kejriwal chose not to resign when he was accused of being involved in the liquor scam. The 153 days he stayed in jail, despite people suggesting that he should resign, he chose not to. He's resigned after coming out on bail at this moment. Explain, why has this decision been taken at this juncture?
See, Rahul, what you need to understand is that for the last 10 years, Bharatiya Janata Party has been using ED and CBI to topple governments. They have used it to threaten MLAs, to buy off MLAs. They have formed governments without winning majorities in Karnataka, in Madhya Pradesh, in Goa, in Arunachal Pradesh, in Manipur. State after state, they have broken parties, brought down governments using ED and CBI. This is exactly what they were doing in opposition states across the country. Why was Hemant Soren arrested? Hemant Soren was arrested to attack an opposition ruled state. Why was Arvind Kejriwal arrested? To attack an opposition ruled state. If Arvind Kejriwal had resigned just because this fake case was registered against him, just because ED and CBI was used against him, it would have opened all opposition ruled states to exactly the same fate. Mamata Banerjee would have been arrested, Pinarayi Vijayan would have been arrested, Siddaramaiah would have been arrested, Stalin would have been arrested. And that is the reason why Arvind Kejriwal chose not to resign at that point of time. Now you'll ask, why has he resigned today? He has resigned today, and to understand Arvind Kejriwal's resignation, you have to look at Arvind Kejriwal not as a chief minister, you have to look at Arvind Kejriwal not as a political mastermind, you have to look at the person of Arvind Kejriwal. This is the man who has dedicated his entire life to fighting against corruption. This is a man who has spent his entire life trying to bring about clean governance and clean politics. And what has the BJP been trying to do in the last 2 years? They have been trying to taint his image, trying to tell the people of Delhi, no, Arvind Kejriwal is like all other politicians. Arvind Kejriwal ne paisa khaya hai, Arvind Kejriwal ne corruption kiya hai. So the man who gave up his job as an IRS officer to work in the slums of Delhi, the man who gave up his chief minister's post because he could not bring in the anti-corruption legislation he had promised, for him, this is something that causes him deep angst and deep pain. That the fact that people could actually be thinking that he has been corrupt, that people could actually be thinking that their hard-earned tax money has gone into his pocket. And that is what has brought about this resignation. That now he does not, see, the Supreme Court has said in black and white terms, they have said that the CBI and the ED have been working like caged parrots of the government, that the CBI and ED should be independent, that Arvind Kejriwal's arrest was not because of any case but to keep him in jail. But now he wants this stamp of approval from the people of Delhi as well, from whom he has been working for the last 10 years.
Atishi ji, your opponents are calling this a PR stunt. That because Arvind Kejriwal has been away from the media limelight, he now wants that over the next several days, the limelight is once again focused on him, and that he's doing this to be able to generate sympathy and somehow wash his hands off the anti-incumbency that's built up over 2 terms of AAP being in power in Delhi.
Rahul, you please tell me this. Can any leader of any party in this country today have the courage to say what Arvind Kejriwal has said? Haryana elections are going on right now. Bharatiya Janata Party has a sitting chief minister. Can the sitting chief minister have the courage to go and say to the people of Haryana that if I have been honest, if you think I am honest, vote for me. If you think that I have done any corruption, then don't vote for me. Congress has so many chief ministers, other parties have chief ministers. Can any of them have the courage to go and say this to the people of Delhi? And the answer is no. It is only Arvind Kejriwal who has the courage to risk his political career, to take such a big decision, because he knows that the people of Delhi understand his honesty, because the people of Delhi know the fact. They see what is happening in other states. They have relatives who live in Faridabad, relatives who live in Gurgaon, relatives who live in Noida, where BJP ruled governments are giving people hell, where you have power cuts for 8 hours, where you have expensive electricity, where you have poor government schools, where you have hospitals in shocking conditions. So people of Delhi can see the fact that it is only because of the honest governance of Arvind Kejriwal that so many things have happened over the last 10 years.
Let's spend some time on Haryana, because that's where the immediate political challenge is. What's going to be the party stand? You were trying very hard for an alliance with the Congress. That hasn't been forthcoming. Is that still being attempted behind the scenes? Are you now ruling that out?
No, now of course there is no possibility of an alliance, yes. There were discussions of an alliance that went on for quite a while, and yes, we had hoped to have an alliance with Congress, but for various reasons that alliance did not work out. So Aam Aadmi Party is going to be contesting all the seats of the Haryana Assembly and contesting with our full political strength.
The irony is, the better the Aam Aadmi Party does in Haryana, the more Kejriwal campaigns now that he's out on bail and he is a Haryana ka ladka, the better it is for the BJP. We've already seen the impact the AAP's campaign had in Gujarat, where the BJP registered its historic best performance because the AAP chipped away some of the opposition vote. The BJP at this moment is in a tricky spot in Haryana, and the AAP, because of its inability to forge this alliance, could potentially end up helping the BJP. How do you see that scenario, Atishi?
See, Rahul, we were very keen to have an alliance. We were very keen to have an alliance with the Congress party. But as I said, for various reasons, that alliance did not work out. So, as a political party that has strong presence in Haryana, as a political party that has been building its organization in Haryana for almost the last 5 years, for a political party whose main political face is from Haryana, for a political party which rules 2 states that border Haryana, on one side Delhi, on the other side Punjab, yes, we are going to contest the Haryana elections. And we are going to contest it with all our strength.
And what if that helps the BJP?
Well, we are hoping that that this Haryana election is not going to help benefit the BJP, it is going to benefit Aam Aadmi Party politically. That is the reason why we are contesting elections over there. And as I said, yes, we did want to have an alliance, but even the Congress will have to answer this question about why the alliance did not happen.
Let's spend some time on what happens in Delhi next and who comes in as Chief Minister. Now, your name, Atishi, is top on the list of front runners to be the potential Chief Minister of Delhi. How do you see your own candidature and your chances, given also the fact that only a few months are due, elections are in February, and even if you became Chief Minister, do you see this as being a lame duck Chief Ministership of sorts?
See, first of all, Rahul, I think no such decision has yet been taken. There is going to be a meeting of the Aam Aadmi Party's legislative party over the next few days. A decision would be taken over there. One thing I can tell you for sure, whoever becomes the Chief Minister of Delhi, even if for the next few months, the Aam Aadmi Party government will continue working for the people of Delhi. That is our commitment. It doesn't matter whether X becomes Chief Minister or Y becomes Chief Minister. Aam Aadmi Party will continue to work for the people of Delhi, will continue to give 24/7 electricity, will continue to give the cheapest electricity in the country, will continue to give high quality education in government schools, will continue to give free treatment in Delhi hospitals. That is what we are committed towards.
When viewers see the shortlist of other probables in the race to be Chief Minister, many may come to the conclusion that the person that I'm speaking to at this moment is arguably best suited. Do you think you're up for the job?
Rahul, I think it's a bit premature to be discussing this. Let the legislative party meet, and then a decision will be taken.
But it's a big political opportunity for anyone. I can see some of the money man laddu.
देखिए क्या है कि the thing is that it's your job to try and get a headline out of your discussion with me. But the fact is that neither you know, neither I know what is going to happen in the meeting of the legislative party. So I think that there is no point in this speculation. What I can assure you is that whoever becomes the chief minister for the next few months will continue to do the task that the Aadmi Party, the Arvind Kejriwal-led government has been doing in the last 10 years, that is working for the people of Delhi.
Stay with us, Atishi, for a moment. We've heard from the Aadmi Party minister in the capital. I want to go across to Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP. Mr. Poonawalla, you know, there's very little in Indian politics which is more dramatic than Arvind Kejriwal playing the martyr, the victim card. He's done it successfully in the past, helped stitch his political capital, brought him to the post of chief minister in Delhi and helped the AAP win in Punjab. This is something the BJP wasn't necessarily expecting, they didn't have this top of mind, that much is quite clear. How do you see this play out? Do you think once again the Delhi CM will be able to play the victim martyr card to the benefit of the Aadmi Party, revive the party's fortunes?
Rahul, since you have been extremely generous with Atishi and given her such a long run on one-on-one, and I appreciate you will run your own show the way you want it, I would just request you to allow me to make a few opening remarks and then I'll answer one by one all the questions also. First of all, political differences aside, let me congratulate in advance Atishi, because she'll be one of the few people who will get the opportunity to serve under both husband and the wife. You see, only the ministers of Lalu cabinet had that opportunity, that they could serve under Lalu and then under Rabdi ji. Now Atishi will be one of the few ministers, and particularly in Delhi, she will be the fewest of ministers who will serve under husband and then perhaps under the wife as well. So congratulations to her in advance. But having said that, Atishi, your leader had made the same claim when he was out on a parole period during the Lok Sabha elections, that Janta इस बार मुझे बता दीजिए मोदी जी को 7-0 जितवा दीजिए कांग्रेस और आम आदमी पार्टी को, जेल का बदला वोट से दीजिए. Was that not mandate enough? In fact, your Delhi model, which you praised to the heavens to Rahul Kanwal, if you had so much faith in it, you are going with the same Congress party which you reduced to 0. You went with a begging bowl to the same Congress party in Haryana and they rebuked you, and now you are saying that the Delhi model is going to work in Delhi when you did not have confidence in Lok Sabha elections. Having said that, now Rahul, coming to your question. Rahul, this is not resignation. This is redesignation. Let me explain to you. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was never the CM when he came out. He went in as a CM. When he came out as a Chunavi minister. The CM is still in jail. That CM can't sign anything. That CM can't go to the Sachivalaya. That CM can't visit and take charge of any files and official work. That CM has to pay a 10 lakh rupee surety. So the CM is still in jail. What they released was a Chunavi minister like they released during Lok Sabha elections. Having said that, making a virtue out of necessity is the part and parcel and full-time job of people like Atishi. Let me explain how. Please tell her that if they are so confident कि चुनाव लड़के हम मोदी जी को दिखा देंगे, तो भाई आतिशी जी आपने विधानसभा भंग क्यों नहीं कर दी? भंग करेंगे तभी तो चुनाव होंगे. You heard their statement, Rahul. They are saying कि बीजेपी चुनाव क्यों नहीं कराती? बीजेपी कैसे चुनाव कराएगी? आप भंग करेंगे असेंबली तो I challenge, because Atishi ji is a senior minister in this government, maybe the most senior minister. I challenge her. First of all, why 2 days? She will say sarkari chutti hai, Sunday hai, kal Eid hai. On sarkari day also you can give, chief minister can give resignation. 2 days is to rally the forces for Lalu Rabdi model or for Sonia Manmohan model.
Okay.
Secondly, my charge is that if they are serious about this, why don't you have the assembly dissolved? Sure. And third, last point, Rahul, just last point. I know I have exceeded my time, but you will be little patient with me. Just last point. Today they are talking, an entire thing is structured on morality. Have you ever seen, Rahul, in your career of so many decades, 2 decades at least, any chief minister staying chief minister for 150 days after he has been put in jail? Not even Lalu did that, not even Hemant Soren did that, not even Shibu Soren, not even Jayalalitha did that. Now they are saying they are the most honest people. Please ask Madam Atishi, forget everybody else. In the political field, there is only one man who's convicted corrupt, and that is Lalu Prasad. When Mr. Bangaru Lakshman got convicted, much before that he had resigned from the BJP.
Okay. So just hold that thought for a moment, and I want to put a question to Atishi.
Two things.
Because Atishi, point number one, when the Delhi CM spoke, he said that let the elections in the capital happen along with Maharashtra and Jharkhand in November. But the Aam Aadmi Party, interestingly, hasn't dissolved the assembly. When I asked a top union, there was a high-level briefing this morning, I asked a top union minister this question, and he said that that's really for the election commission to decide. How are you hoping that there will be elections in November, given that the Aam Aadmi Party hasn't dissolved the assembly?
Rahul, the assembly does not need to be dissolved. Any time in the last 6 months of the assembly, the election commission can call elections at any point of time. Obviously, Shehzad also knows this, senior union ministers also know this. But the fact is, they don't want to have elections. They know the fact that if elections happen in Delhi today, in the last 2020 elections, they got 8 out of 70 seats. Today, their condition is that they'll probably get 0 out of 70 seats. This is the reality. Shehzad also knows this and their leaders also know this. Number one. Number two, let me tell you, Rahul, Shehzad's point that Arvind Kejriwal has resigned because their conditions is utter rubbish. The reason it is rubbish is because conditions and reduction of Arvind Kejriwal's power has happened from the first day he has become chief minister. In February 2015, he became chief minister with 67 out of 70 seats. 3 months later, MHA brought in an illegal notification snatching away Arvind Kejriwal's powers. They brought in LG after LG who put restrictions on his work. When after 8 years of a legal struggle, we got a Supreme Court constitution bench order in our favor, restoring our power in 8 days' time, Shehzad's government brought in the GNCTD Amendment Act as an emergency ordinance to again put restrictions on Arvind Kejriwal's power. Despite all of this, Arvind Kejriwal has done what none of Shehzad's BJP governments have been able to do, is to give 24/7 electricity, is to give high-quality government schools, to give high-quality government hospitals, to bring free bus rides to the women of Delhi. This is their problem. Their problem is that all their attempts to prevent Aam Aadmi Party government from working have not made any difference.
Tehseen Poonawalla.
Even today,
just one second. Tehseen Poonawalla, is this a very tricky scenario? Just one second. Is this, Tehseen, a very tricky scenario from the Congress's lens? Kejriwal comes from Delhi, comes from Haryana, as he campaigns in Haryana. If the AAP does better in the next few days before polling, and given that Haryana in any case in the Lok Sabha was 44 for Congress and BJP, 3% for the Aam Aadmi Party, the more Kejriwal pulls votes away from the BJP, the better it is for the BJP, because it's the anti-incumbency vote which is potentially getting split.
That's a very good question, Rahul. Thank you so much for having me on the show. At the onset, let me just say, I don't understand what is 2 days to resign. I've always heard one is pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. You can't say 2 days later. So if you have to resign, you resign today. Resigning 2 days later, I've never heard of something like that. But it is absolutely true. Mrs. Kejriwal is said to be the chief minister of Aam Aadmi Party. And while it is their internal politics, there is no other choice, but she should be chief minister because anyone else...
You keep saying this, and even Shehzad said the same thing. There is no indication to suggest that Sunita Kejriwal is going to be the same.
100%. If Mr. Kejriwal... So there are 2 ways this will go. Either Mr. Kejriwal will have a WhatsApp/SMS campaign saying, oh, the people of Delhi have given us a referendum, I will continue, and the people cried and they'll say, no, in this cabinet you cannot resign. That's the one model. So they say I'll resign and nobody resigns. Or the second model is Mrs. Kejriwal will become, because anyone else becoming chief minister, the party will split. Coming to your specific question on Haryana, it's very, very clear that, listen, in Haryana, the Congress is sweeping. I am saying this on your show, plus 60 seats for the Congress. I'm not even saying 50 plus. So the Aam Aadmi Party has zero impact. I stood by Mr. Kejriwal when he was arrested. The BJP obviously took away his liberty. I have serious problems with the kind of conditions the Honorable Supreme Court has put on the sitting chief minister of not going to office and all of that. But look at what Mr. Kejriwal's biggest fear is. And I say this both just as a Congress supporter, also as an analyst. His fear is not the liquor gate scam. That is that. There's no evidence against him there. It is Sheesh Mahal. And visually, Sheesh Mahal is very bad for the chief minister. That commode worth lakhs of rupees, those curtains worth 50 lakhs or 40 lakhs or whatever, that high price thing, that is what's going to haunt Kejriwal ji. Kejriwal ji may think Haryana he will make an impact. He won't have any impact in Haryana, but he's definitely trying to save his party. So it's either Kejriwal ji or Mrs. Kejriwal who will continue. There is no,
let me put that question to Atishi. Both Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP and Tehseen suggesting, insinuating that Sunita Kejriwal, the chief minister's wife, is likely to be the next chief minister. Would you like to rule that out, or in that list of probables, do you think it's legitimate for her to be one of the candidates as well?
Rahul, we just discussed this 10 minutes ago, that the legislative party has not met yet. Once the legislative party meets, then a decision will be taken who will be the chief minister till the Delhi elections happen. But what we are keen on is the fact that elections should happen as soon as possible, because we want a mandate from the people of Delhi. We want to know what the people of Delhi...
No, so you're not ruling out Sunita Kejriwal. Basically, you're saying if the legislators decide that she should be CM, she's one of the candidates as well, whose candidature will be discussed.
Or I am saying exactly what I said 10 minutes ago, that the legislative party has not even met yet. Once the legislative party meets, then only any decision will be taken. And as soon as we take a decision, don't worry, Rahul, we will inform you also. We will inform Shehzad and we will inform Tehseen as well about what the decision of the legislative party is.
Okay, I want to let Atishi go. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. Let's see how the CM sweepstakes pan out. Let's see.
No, let her be on for 20 seconds.
Okay, bolo. He wants to say something before you go.
Keep her for 20, just 20 seconds.
Okay.
Just in the look, Rahul, you gave her a long opening statement. She got a 3-time counter. It's only fair that she waits for one more count.
Okay.
Only fair. So, Rahul, first of all, of course, the Election Commission has to conduct the elections
I'm listening, Shehzad. I'm not going away.
And that is in February. Well, I'm very kind. I'm very grateful that you are, and thank you, Atishi, and I respect you for that. And in the interest of a debate, you should listen. So, Atishi, you're right that in February 2025, the assembly tenure ends. So, the Election Commission has a period of time that it can call for an election. But if you really desperately want an election and want to make a political point, you can force the Election Commission's hand by dissolving the assembly pronto, right now. You do it right now, the Election Commission has no way out but to call for elections. Point number one. Point number two, madam, very humbly I request you that you keep saying ED is being misused. Congress party itself has said that we started the liquor scam. You wanted the ED used against Bhupesh Baghel for a liquor scam when he was the Chhattisgarh CM. How come the ED was fine then? You arrested Khaira using the ED investigation as a basis, and the Congress was saying that you were misusing agencies. How does that square up? But having said that, let me make a last point. You did not take a position on whether Lalu is corrupt, yet you say that you have integrity. But one last point is that will there be a non-MLA who will be the Chief Minister of Delhi? You can answer that question for us. Answer us if it is only the MLAs who will be the ones who will be up for the reckoning of Chief Minister, because it should be an elected person who is elected by Delhi. So tell us that whether it will be an elected MLA who will be the Chief Minister or it will be a non-elected MLA.
Atishi, do you want to respond to that?
Shehzad, I will repeat. Let's say what I said 10 minutes ago.
Yes.
Let the legislative party meet. You will know in the next couple of days who is going to be the chief minister. But it is in your hands, Shehzad. You can call the assembly elections at any point of time you want. Be it the ED, be it the CBI, be it the election commission, they are all working at the behest of your party's central government.
Okay,
so if you are up to it,
my dear friend Atishi,
then you can call the elections at any point of time. Number one. And number two, we have not said that ED is a caged parrot. The Supreme Court has.
My dear friend
We have not said that CBI is not independent. The Supreme Court has.
One last line.
It is time for your government to introspect
one last line.
and to think about what the Supreme Court has said.
One last line.
Okay, very quickly.
One last line, just one last line. My dear friend Atishi, very quickly. My dear friend Atishi, the Election Commission doesn't become good if you win an election in Punjab, and it doesn't become bad if you lose all 7 seats in Delhi. Having said that you've not ruled out Sunita Kejriwal says enough about your politics.
Okay.
You couldn't call Lalu.
I want to thank.
That's what you are.
Call elections immediately.
I want to thank Atishi for joining us. Many watching India Today television will be tracking who becomes Chief Minister, and if at all it is Atishi. She at this moment is playing down her chances and not really wanting to play her cards, which is quite legitimate. We'll see what happens. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us.